you think about the test of having, not the test of not having, the test of having too much of these distractions. Who would be more distracted than Dawood alayhi salam? A prophet who was a king, who had much wealth to his name, much to distract him in this world. And the Prophet ﷺ says that of the du'as of Dawood alayhi salam was, Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbak. Oh Allah, I ask you for your love. Wa hubba man yuhibbuk. And the love of those that love you. Wal amal alladhi yuballighuni hubbak. And the love of the deeds that would bring me closer to your love. And then he said, Allahumma ja'al hubbaka habba ilayya min nafsi wa ahli wa min al-ma' al-barid. Oh Allah, make your love more beloved to me than myself, than my family, than a sip of cold water. And especially, when do you love a sip of cold water most? On a hot day when you're fasting. Make your love more beloved to me than all of those things. Because it's only with the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that those things will not diminish my eagerness for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the hereafter, before Ramadan, during Ramadan, after Ramadan. Because you taste something else. You're not tasting the halawa, the sweetness of your food and your drink. You're tasting halawatul iman, the sweetness of faith. And the Prophet ﷺ mentions the first sign of someone who tasted halawatul iman, the sweetness of faith, is that Allah wa rasuluhu ahabba ilayhi mimma siwahuma. That Allah and His Messenger become more beloved to him than anything else. How do you do that? The reason why I put this forward, dear brothers and sisters, is that as you approach Ramadan, don't approach Ramadan like a scorecard. Okay, I'm gonna not do this and I'm gonna do this. I'll read this much Quran, I need to finish this much khatams, I need to pray this much taraweeh, I need to pray this much sunnahs, I need to do this, I need to do that. Don't approach this like a scorecard. Approach this like an opportunity to renew a relationship. Approach this like an opportunity to actually read the Quran with love and devotion, so that the devotion overtakes the distractions when they come back in your life. Approach this as an opportunity to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I want you more than I want anything this world has to offer. And you look at all of the ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he mentions Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala laughing in a way that befits him subhanahu at a person who wakes up from what? From a comfortable bed, from a beautiful spouse, on a cold day. And he fights all of those elements. تَتَجَافَى جُنُوبُهُمْ عَنِ الْمَضَاجِعِ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا. Fights all those elements to call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with love and devotion. Why? Why are you giving all of that up? Because you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تُلْهِكُمْ أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُكُمْ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا in Surah Al-Baqarah أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. And those who believe love Allah more than anyone else loves anything else. Take Ramadan as an opportunity to use the time away from those distractions and to ask yourself whether the distractions in your life are actually necessary distractions in the first place. Categorize your distractions. You know, when someone says, I'm going to delete this app for a month of Ramadan, what are you telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I'm going to delete this playlist. I'm going to stop listening to this in the month of Ramadan. I'm going to stop talking to this person in the month of Ramadan. MashaAllah. What are you saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That you only want forgiveness in Ramadan? That the price of Ramadan is too high? Whereas the price of Allah's love and mercy and forgiveness outside of Ramadan is not worth it? What is it that you're actually expressing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Dear brothers and sisters, if you were to take the time on that first night of Ramadan and on that first day of Ramadan, to sit with yourself and to make dua and to read the Quran with devotion and to think about what you're reading and to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, I want to love you more than these things. And I end with this for a reason. Someone says, I don't know how to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't know, you're telling me I need to love Allah more than all of these things, but what do I need to do? You need to change your lifestyle. قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم. Say, if you love Allah, follow me. Follow the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah will love you back. You have to actually change your lifestyle in order to have that love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And with a lifestyle change and an already expressed change of priority by saying that I'm pursuing you, Ya Allah. The last thing is that supplication. Ask Allah to love Him. Ask Allah to be loved by Him. Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbak wa hubba man yuhibbuk wal amal alladhi yuballighuni hubbak. Allahumma ij'al hubbaka ahabba ilayya min nafsi wa ahli wa min al-ma' al-barid. Ask Allah, oh Allah, I want to love you more than anything else, and I want to be loved by you more than anything else. And when I say I want the love of those who love you, that naturally means I want righteous people around me that are not going to distract me from you. Because you know what? Your friends are not like your family. أولادكم وأموالكم, or أموالكم وأولادكم, they're a necessary component of your life. And Allah Azza wa Jalla tells you, just keep them in perspective and don't let the distracting element mess you up. Your friends are not in that category. Some friends need to be removed altogether. Some company needs to be removed altogether in order for you to have that meaningful relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And ask Allah that you love Him more than all of your distractions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us like Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said, La uridu illa an urida ma yuridu. I only want to want what He wants. I only want to want what He wants. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala erase from us all of the distractions that take us away from Him. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the things in our lives that are necessary components so that they actually become a means of bringing us closer to Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow our wealth to be blessed so that it's a means of gaining His love and coming closer to Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our families so that they are our qurratu ayn. They are the coolness of our eyes, so that we are blessed through that family to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to gain His love even further. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descend His love upon this ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant victory to our brothers and sisters in Gaza and beyond who are facing a cruel enemy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descend His blessings upon us in Ramadan, before Ramadan, beyond Ramadan. Allahumma ameen. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم.